So all the way from Utah, Hagen came to our treatment program. How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. And you spent how much time in the inpatient?
Like 2.5 months.
2.5 months. So
Actually,
let's tell us, man, what was going on before you came to the treatment program 3 years ago, and that caused your parents to make such a drastic move, like bringing you to a treatment program. I don't even know if you came willingly or what, but tell us, man.
uh, I went to college and I was playing hockey there, and then I ended up drinking and doing like drugs, just like smoking pot most of the time, and then and then um yeah, and then I got hurt in hockey. And when I got hurt, they basically said, like, you can't play anymore. I've been playing that for my whole life. So it was kind of like losing something I loved a lot. And so after that, then I really started drinking, and then really started getting a little more into drugs and stuff. And then, yeah, and then after that, a couple of my friends died. They both killed themselves. And then I got on antidepressants, which mixing that with alcohol and some of the smoking pot and doing pills, stuff like that, that kind of made that antidepressant not work very great. And so I ended up waking up one time, and I tried killing myself, and some cops ended up coming in. I don't remember much of it, but I remember that I sent out some texts to some people, and one of the persons that I called, her text ended up calling the cops. So I ended up waking up in a sink with my wrist slit, and the cops came in and arrested me and took me to like a crazy house kind of deal in Provo, Utah. That's where I was at that time. And I stayed there for 3 days. They didn't really do much. They kind of just monitored me on stuff that they would give me tests on, and it didn't really make sense to me. But either way, I got out of there in like 3 days. I was kind of like, oh, I need to change my life. Didn't really do anything though. I think it lasted like 3 days, and then I went back to my old ways. During that time, I was like, I hated my dad. Made my mom real sad a lot, and me and my dad had pretty much the worst relationship ever. At that time, we just yelled at each other, didn't like each other. Never really felt loved by him at all. So after that, it was probably a couple weeks. How long was it? Probably about a month later, then I got a phone call from Bobby saying, who knew way too much about my life, that I had a fake ID, and that I was doing drugs and selling drugs and all sorts of stuff. It really terrified me that some stranger called me and said that to me. So
Who was it that called you?
you called me.
Oh, I did. Okay, go on.
And it was basically like, hey, you need to get on a plane at midnight or you can go to jail. And so that sounded better, to go on a plane than to go to jail. So I went on that one. And that was a rough trip there. Yeah, and so that was a rough trip all the way up there. And then, when I got there, I was terrified because I remember watching a news thing that some people lured a kid or a lady to a job and had her flown out there, and then they killed her in a hotel or something. So I was terrified on that.
Wow.
Like I was gonna straight get murdered as soon as I got off the plane. So I remember I called you guys, and I had you go to like the wrong gate twice, and just so I could see what car it was, and I didn't recognize. And then I was like, it's some Mexican looking guys. I think I'm all right. Wasn't that far into it for the drug cartel. So,
Wow.
so yeah. And then I remember Alex jumped out and straight strip searched me and took all my stuff. And I was like, I don't know. I was all shocked. I just kind of sat down. Then you guys took me to a movie and took me to dinner and found out a lot more about me. And yeah, that's kind of like that.
Wow. So I'm remembering now because it's been so long ago. I kind of forgot. I mean, I only know the new you. I watch you on Facebook. From the time you got home, you started working on somehow getting land and working, and you made some accomplishments. And then I saw your pictures of, getting engaged, a beautiful girl, you got married, just great things happening in your life. So I kind of forgot, but man, I remember now you were suicidal. What kind of medications were you on again?
I don't remember what it was. It was just some antidepressants, and then I was also doing like Lortabs and uh, Oxycontins and stuff.
Well, you were doing Oxycontin illegally, though, right?
Oh yeah, and then I was doing like a little bit of cocaine here and there.
So then you started mixing prescription medication with alcohol, weed, and all that, right?
Yeah, I was just doing it all at the same.
It's cool that we can laugh about it because that was traumatic. I mean, when I called you, I told you you're going to jail because I was talking to your parents and it was a bad situation you were in. But anyway, so at the time when you tried to commit suicide, well, do you remember what your diagnosis was?
I think they ended up just saying that I wanted attention. Is what we ended up going with. That I seen attention from my one friend committing suicide and attention from the other one, and they just thought I wanted attention, I guess.
Did they diagnose you with depression and with that kind of thing?
I was already depressed because of the antidepressants.
Yeah, it must have been depression. Anyway, but so at the time when you tried to commit suicide, were you on prescription medication and drugs or no?
I mean, I was, yeah, I was on antidepressants, and then I was just doing recreationally, just smoking pills and stuff.
Yeah, people don't realize that kind of stuff can enhance the suicidal tendency. Supposedly, it's supposed to fix the suicide, but and then they can't control if you're going to do extracurricular drugs on top of that. But anyway, so tell me, you had a heart transformation because if you recall, there was no behavior like punishments or any kind of rewards. It was all relationship. Can you kind of speak to your experience when you were in the treatment program?
Just kind of like what you guys did and what.
Yeah, and how you experienced it, because typically these programs could be like you get rewarded, you get punished, you get out demoted, you get incentives, you have to do this and that to earn, or you got to go out and do push-ups and a lot. Those are typically how they work, or they medicate you to numb you to make you feel happy and things of this nature. What was your experience in our treatment program?
Mine was I felt so powerless, and that was kind of my deal. Is like I was a real power freak about everything. That's why, yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of girls at one time because it was just a power trip for me. My wife was not happy about that one. But
although she may not admit it, but that's one of the reasons why she's attracted to you, because women like those bad boys sometimes.
Yeah, she was one of my many girlfriends at the time. And
ask her if we can meet her. Can she come pop in and say hi? Ask her if she.
You want to come say hi to these guys, by the way? This is wifey Alyssa.
Hey. That's funny, Alyssa. I kind of say the same things, and it's kind of funny to watch you guys because I've been married 32 years, and I kind of had that same kind of reputation. But then that player guy ends up finding that one special girl, and everything changes. You're that special girl. Good to meet you.
Nice
so
to meet
anyway,
you.
Yeah. So when I got back, that's when I decided that she was probably the one I probably should go after, not the other ones. So, but it was like a power thing for me at the time. So when you guys took everything from me, I mean, I was powerful as far as like drug dealing stuff. I was feared by most, and it felt good, kind of deal. Just being, I don't know, it just felt good being feared, I guess. And that's why Alyssa hated me in high school and a little after that. And because I was just really mean to a lot of people. So either way, I felt really powerless right off the bat. And then I remember just feeling I don't know, it was indescribable for a while. And I just I guess going away from everything was kind of relaxing at the same time.
So so let me ask you. So when you were there, did you feel like the love, the relationship? Did you feel, because I was trying to see how you perceived it compared to so many programs that have so many, like I said, so much, so many behavior modification type of things. Did you experience the relationship and the love and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I experienced what was more like I felt like people were trying to like me a lot. And I've never been like loved, I guess. Like I said, I didn't really feel love from my dad forever. My mom loved me a lot, but I don't know. So I never like felt like loved. And then you guys would always try to like make me feel like you guys wanted me there and stuff. So that felt good. And then um, I don't know.
Now I don't remember entirely, but typically we would have mediation and with the parents and the kids, and we have relationship building and conflict resolution. Do you recall uh, your relationship with your father completely changing as we started doing relationship building? Do you recall that?
Yeah, I remember the exact phone call. We were at I can't remember. We were at like a shoe store looking at magazines, and I was reading about how the 8 Mile was having its like 10-year anniversary. I was stoked about that. And then you guys just laid a call like, "Here's your dad. You need to talk to him." And we talked to him, and I remember I got to tell him how I felt about him, which was great, but it felt terrible at the same time. And so it was just nice because I got to say how I felt, and you were kind of like a referee at the time, and it was nice. Because then, yeah, because then he couldn't yell at me back, so that was great. And then, but I remember that was our very first call of me actually telling him how I felt and how I felt like he treated me terribly and all that stuff like that. And then I remember, yeah, and then you guys made me cry, and I felt really stupid about that. And
Hey, man, men got to get in touch with their emotions. That's our problem, right? So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think you know this, but there went a lot of coaching with your parents in the background that caused him to start knowing how to reach your heart. Because, as you said, dads don't mean to lose their kids' hearts, but we're just dads, and sometimes we think by being mean and tough, and we don't really know always. Trying to just use discipline without affection. But a lot went into coaching your father. He was very open, very, very wanting to, he loves you. He just didn't know how to do it. And it looks like he did. He succeeded at it. How's your relationship now?
right now, me and him. I mean, when I got back, I bought into the sawmill business that I was working at forever when I was a kid. So I bought into that with him, and so I just started owning percentage with him and just buying it from him. And then now we're slowed down on the sawmill, so now we're building my house. So me and him are building my house together, and then he also is building a cabin. So me and him are working on a cabin. So it's just something that 3 years ago never would have happened at all.
All right. You guys wouldn't be talking. You guys would be enemies, probably.
I had full intentions on moving to like Ogden, Utah, or somewhere in Colorado, and just never being a part of that family ever again.
Yeah.
That was my plans: to do college, play hockey, get as much money as I could out of them, and then leave.
Now you're going to make me cry.
I
I mean,
it,
just to think, I mean, no, seriously, just to think that caregivers like Alex and others that, we were there when you guys needed us. If it wasn't for that 2.5 months, man, where would you be today? You know what I'm saying? That's intense. So tell us now what's happened since the big success story. I know there's ups and downs. There's going to be down days, but overall, looks like you're succeeding awesomely. Tell us about that, man. Tell us what happened and how things started changing and big events in your life.
And Hagen, if real quick, if you can mention some of the work you do with the youth, I know that stood out to me. You were really excited about that. You connected just the God piece and what you experienced in heart transformation with the kids in the ice rink, because you've always told me they looked up to you and you kind of wanted to give them a real good reason to do it, not just for the other stuff you used to be into.
yeah, yeah. I remember. I remember. I remember right when my heart changed was we were at that church, City of Life Church, and I remember they came up with Ephesians 2:1-10, and that was kind of like my life story in a Bible verse. And I remember just changing from there, and then it's just kind of when I wanted to actually be on the God side instead. And so I remember I came back, and for like 2 weeks it was hard just giving up friends, and so I just ex-nated all my friends. And so now we're kind of loners, but yeah, so we have friends with babies, and that's about it. And I remember we came back, and then 2 weeks I got rid of all my friends real quick, and then I wanted to help coach a high school team that I played on, and I was in a small town, so of course they were like, "He went to rehab, and he's a terrible person." So I didn't get a coach. I was just like an assistant helper, but it was really cool because I still got to hang out with a bunch of kids, and they kind of got to see me in a different light because a lot of them see me when I was terrible, and so they got to see like a different part of me. And so that year, there was kind of them, huh? Yeah, they looked up to me a lot for actually going and coming back, and then I remember I quit college because my dad's business burned down, and so that's why I bought into it, is because I bought into it, helped it, and built it back up. And so I just quit college and started doing that, working with him. And yeah, so the kids got to see me in a different way, and they kind of respected me more, which was great. And then the next year, they put me as head coach, and that was fun. And it was the first time ever that whole high school team's ever passed a drug test, and so I was so stoked that the whole team did it. And
Wow. That was the first year
yeah,
that the whole team, the kids were doing better and not doing drugs. And you were that man that it was in the gap, just being that encouragement and that inspiration. That's powerful.
yeah, 13 years they never had it pass, so
Jeez. See?
it was really awesome.
And when your dad's business burned down, you stepped in at a low point and profited because now it's built up again and all that.
Well, not this year. This year I'll probably be in the red a little bit.
It happens.
But because the oil field went down, I've been shut down for like 5 months. But
Oh wow.
yeah, but it'll get better. It always comes back.
But you're making a living out of it, right?
Oh yeah, we still make it here and there, and we do other stuff.
And then you found your girl. Tell me about that, and building your house.
Girl story is fun. She was dating one of my friends that killed himself, and so after that, I hung out with her like right before the funeral and stuff, just to keep her kind of heads up. And then we also met in high school. So there's two stories. So we met in high school, and she didn't like me at all because I was really mean and I was just a druggie. And but yeah, then that happened, and then we hung out, and then I moved and we talked and stuff. And then she knew me before I went to CARES, and then when I got back, I don't know, was I nicer to you? She was the only. Yeah, she was the only one that was there for me. She was my best friend when I came back, so that's how that went.
You been married how long now?
What have we been, like 2 months?
Wow. Yeah.
Has it been 2 months since we've been married? A month. Yeah, it's been a month.
Hey, listen, little piece of advice. Right now, it's all good, but you better remember, because you can't be asking her when you got married down the road. But
save it on the website, tattoo it.
Don't get too close to the mic out because it's really loud when you get close. But yeah, man, I met my wife the same way. I mean, she was there for me. I met her before, but she was there for me when I was in jail. But anyways, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, man, and we're excited for you. We're gonna keep up with you and your story, from time to time. So I don't know if Al has any other questions, or if you got any last words, Hagen, before we conclude this amazing testimony of yours.
I just wanted to talk more about your CARES thing. I mean, it was really cool that you guys let us. It was like a lot of freedom you guys let us do, even though we're like boundaries. But the stuff that you guys let us just kind of do on our own and be ourselves, that was nice. And then I remember like some kids would just run down the block to the gas station and stuff, and then you guys kind of put them on harsher stuff. But I don't know. I remember doing that, and that was just the freedom you guys kind of let us have at the same time while we're being there. And I think just putting us away from social media, just everything away for like a couple months, that really clears out your head for a while. And I think that was the hardest part, is when you came back and then had to get away from the life that you had. That was kind of the worst part of it all. I mean, you learned a lot of good things in the cares, but when you got back, then you had to apply them. That was tough. And, but yeah, I don't think I'd even still be alive to this day if that happened to me. And yeah, wife is very thankful I went. And then yeah, when those kids looked up to you, it was cool having kids look up to you. And now I kind of help out with our youth group out at our church, because it's not great, but we have a new youth minister guy there, and he's great. And he's the guy who actually married us, so he's fun. And then yeah, my friend that just died, he just died was it a week ago now? Yeah, he's got a little kid. Or no, he doesn't have a kid. He's got a nephew that's like his brother. And so now he's been really all about me, because me and him were best friends for a while. So he's been yeah. And it's tough, because that kid's he's a troublemaker kid, just like I was. So that's my new journey right now, is I get to hang out with this kid that's reminds me way too much of me and my friend. And so,
well, I know you're making a difference, man, and you guys be blessed, you and your wife, and we'll be in touch. And anytime you're in Florida, we'd love to meet your wife, and maybe you'll have a little bambino by then. Who knows? All right, man. You take care, man. Good seeing you again.
Good seeing you, Hagen.
all right, thanks, guys.